Z finally released the long-awaited Mahoraga and Shadow Swarm update this weekend. And while it's definitely cool, it has a lot of things that need to be smoothed out. Z himself alluded to this over the week, saying that he was rushing things and that he expected this update to be disappointing. And the whole cherry on top was when one of the mods in the JJS Discord server locked down every single channel for reasons that I honestly don't know. That's not to say this is a bad update though, it's pretty cool, and there's some stuff to talk about, so let's get into this video and analyze everything that Z did. Before that though, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more analysis on JJS updates. Now, let's summarize what's changed. A new move for Megami, Shadow Swarm, was added. Mahoraga was added as a fourth move to Megami. There's a new private server command which turns off ultimate drain. There's a new visual setting called Cherry. Max Elephant cannot be countered by Manji Kick anymore. The visuals on Gojo's Black Flash were changed. Some issues with piano emote were fixed. There's a new sprint animation for Mahito. It's pretty silly in a good way. The bullet model for Soulfire was changed from being Hikari's reserve balls to being the small little souls Mahito carries around. Finally, the animation for Megami Special was polished. For what to talk about, there really isn't much, so let's start big with Shadow Swarm. Shadow Swarm is a guard-breaking rush with a very long startup on it that on contact of someone does a little beatdown before knocking them away, which ragdolls a victim and does alright damage. I'll be honest, the move is kind of okay. It's like Reki Rushdown if you added a long startup to it, which really does ruin it a little. The move is pretty easy to interrupt if you're too close up, and not that hard to stall out if you're far away. It can be confirmed after a down slam, but in terms of how it is in neutral, it's nowhere near as busted as Lucky Rushdown or Rush, unless I'm using it wrong. In which case, go ahead and tell me why in the comments. There's one more thing to this move, and it's that you can break into domain expansions by using this move while you're next to a barrier. I'm gonna be completely honest, this sucks for 1v1s. There is no negation of the domain's effects, and it makes the move pretty bad for any kind of purpose. If you try popping yourself into a Sukuna domain for funsies, it will just get turned into a piece of salami. Hell, even if you try popping someone out of a Gojo domain, your friend will still be stunned and they won't be able to escape anyways. The move locks you into a domain while letting people enter in really freely, and it drains your health too, basically killing you in exchange for opening up a hole in someone's domain. It's 100% not worth using in an awakening, because there's really no point in sacrificing your entire awakening just to bail out a friend. One funny, sort of useful thing I found in testing is that if a Gojo user re-enters a domain after leaving through the hole, they get stunned by their own domain, which I guess is sort of useful, but more of a funny thing than something that would actually impact a fight. I joked about this move embodying the Megami spirit, but I'm being serious here when I say that this move is just a fancier way to reset your character, at least from my experiences using it. It's a joke. Don't try popping yourself into domains with this, and save Shadow Swarm for after a down slam or something. Either that, or seek therapy. Now for Mahoraga, who I will now be calling Makura, because that's the Japanese pronunciation, and because I can't say the other name without pissing other people off. The move's definitely unfinished and really not that strong. It has a really similar problem as World Slash, where you need someone to be up close to you in terms of range, but also have to rely on them not trying to interrupt the move because they don't know how it works due to long startup. What I'm saying in a nutshell is that the move will get interrupted 90% of the time because you need someone to be near you to activate the ritual, and it's very unlikely that they don't interrupt you during it. As for Makura, he's definitely a little bit mid. He's definitely tanky, but his movement and M1s do feel a little janky, which might be a result of the upscaled model. He has an unfinished adaptation gimmick that doesn't actually do anything yet, which gives you 3 modes to switch through by pressing G and then R. His M1s are interesting, with a third one bypassing block, as well as his M1s just breaking walls by default, and his overall stats are just pretty good. He has no moves right now because he's unfinished, and for a cherry on top, the way his ultimate meter works is that it drains really quickly, but can be replenished by hitting people. From my experiences with it, it isn't really that great of a move, mostly because of how hard it is to activate it. It really is like World Slash in a sense, and while the mode you get is pretty good, it's really tough to actually get. I haven't fought any Makuras yet, just because nobody can get it off against me, but I really just have to say that it's not easy to land, and it's punishing to miss too, since the move drains your ultimate a lot, and has a cooldown that cannot be restored. Basically an impossible risk with a pretty good reward. Final things to say are that I think the Black Flash visual change is cool, and that the new private server command to turn off ultimate drain is really helpful for some things people like to do in private servers, like ultimate fights. Everything else here is either just a bug fix or too small for me to talk about, so the analysis ends here. Overall, this update is cool, but also a little rushed. It can always be built on, of course, to make it better in the future, but while I do like the update we got, there's definitely a lot of things that need to be smoothed out. I think Z did a good job, and I like how cool everything looks, especially the animation for Shadow Swarm, though I think he could use a break from development. Anyways, content is content, and content is always good. If you enjoyed my yapping today, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more analysis of Jujutsu Shenanigans updates. I'm Noob Eternally, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.